Welcome back. Before we cover some news, here is a mission statement for the not for profit I helped start in town. It's called Our Northbridge, and the mission statement is 1. Feed the children. Not just food, knowledge. Make our town the pride of the Blackstone Valley in primary and secondary education. 2. Clean up the streets. Not just litter, the economic challenges in the commons of Whitensville and in Rockdale. And establish a park and recreation department to protect and improve our public spaces. 3. Fire the bad actors. Find out who is responsible for the challenges we face and replace them. Then establish term limits for the elected officials so it never happens again. If you would like to help with this, please give me a call or text me at 401-486-6894. Our first story is on the normalization of racism and online harassment. I wanted to begin this with a quote. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. Let me say it again. When the debate is lost, slander becomes the tool of the loser. Socrates said that some time ago. I think it rings very true right now. This Roseanne Barr moment in time is something we all need to reflect on to understand. Roseanne obviously should have been fired. There's no question about it. Kudos to everyone at ABC and Disney for making a quick decision and doing it correctly. This was not a First Amendment issue. Roseanne said blatantly racist stuff on Twitter, and it's time for people to be held accountable for the things that they say online, in real life, or otherwise. The same people who are mad about Roseanne's free speech being violated because she got fired for being blatantly racist were just celebrating the NFL forbidding players from silently and peacefully protesting during the national anthem. And now Ambien makes you racist? Roseanne is blaming her Ambien prescription instead of acknowledging she said something horrifically racist and taking personal responsibility. And to top that off, the makers of Ambien, someone came forward and said it could be a potential side effect. No, racism is not a side effect of anything other than being ignorant. Roseanne blew it. End of conversation. Just like President Trump. This was not a joke. This was not in bad taste. This was racism. She wasn't misunderstood or misquoted, and now she is paying the price. This isn't silencing a conservative or a First Amendment issue. She is free to say what she said, and we in turn are free to call her out for saying it. And her employer is free to fire her for saying it, provided it doesn't reflect the views that they share, of course, which it doesn't. Those types of views are held by a small, everly increasingly vocal minority, but a small minority of Americans, and we need to start talking about it. Roseanne Barr is the same person who made Jew cookies in Hitler garb. And if anyone that's watching this is old enough to remember, she's the same person who sang the national anthem like no one else. It was unbelievably disrespectful to our country, in my opinion. Much more so than someone protesting against oppression. Thank goodness Valerie Jarrett is exactly the person to come forward to respond and take the high road. She explained how she was grateful to her circle of friends, which is something I wanted to talk with all of you about personally right now. You may not know it, but I actually dealt with a fair amount of online harassment recently, trying to get the first show on the air, among other things. I can tell you that for anyone that knows me, I really don't worry about what anyone thinks, but what I think and what the people I love think of me. And at the same time, the online harassment I took devolved into attacks on people I love, my children being brought into it, my own family. And it was terrible, and it's really brought me to a whole nother level of heightened awareness of things we need to improve in society today. And at the same time, I just wanted to say thank you to all the people that came forward and, shared their love with me and helped me get our Northbridge off the ground. Specifically, I wanted to say thank you to Valerie and to Sabrina and Randy. I'm sure that a lot of people were surprised that you came forward to help as much as you did with our Northbridge. My family and friends as well, thank you so much. I don't want to name everyone, But the people that got involved with our Northbridge right away, you all deserve our respect. The bravery that you three women exhibited is unbelievable. Also want to give a special shout out to people I might not necessarily agree with. Rich Rossi has a TV show here as well. Me and him are actually pretty good friends now, which is neat. And I can't think of a lot of things that we would agree on necessarily politically, but for some reason we've become really good friends, and I'm grateful for that. So thank you. But again, I just wanted to take that moment personally to reflect with all of you and let you know how I felt. Back to what we were talking about, any real conservative should step forward and call out President Trump for using patriotism and racism to hold power. He is the same person who got into the spotlight by lying about President Obama and saying he wasn't born in our country and questioning his presidency, questioning President Obama and saying he was born in Africa. If there was ever a moment in time we could look back and say this was the moment when dog whistle racism began to be rejuvenated here in America, that might be the moment in time we look back on. More than that, he ran on a ban of religious groups of people, that being Muslims. He called deadly white supremacist attacks in Charlottesville as good people on both sides. He called African countries shitholes. We know what Roseanne and President Trump think. They're exhibiting racist behavior. And it's time for us to talk about it. I think we can aim higher than just tolerance. I really do. Tolerance means like, okay, fine, just be there. But don't talk to me, and certainly don't date my sister. There is not a religion in the world that says, I asked you to tolerate thy neighbor. Let's try for something a little more than tolerance. Let's try for acceptance, and then respect, and then friendship, and then hopefully someday love. I'm Mike Dutra. This is our Blackstone Valley. We'll be right back.